Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Thursday night Nerd Night Roundtable. Yeah, we already got some chat. Let's see what we got here. And greetings, Mr.
Okay.
Lundell. Welcome.
Hello, Mr.
Yeah, I
Lundell.
missed one though.
I filed that report with the YouTube police.
With me is Skrilla's Random Thoughts. How you doing?
Just the supervisor off today
Oh, that's always fun.
because he gets really pissy when he forgets his headphones at home. He has no music and stuff there, and about right before lunchtime, regularly he's getting really hungry, and hadn't had music for a bunch of hours. So I asked him if he's done PMSing yet.
Also, this is Admiral Teague. How you doing, Teague?
Hi, I'm doing good. My name is Admiral Teague, and I sell Star Trek and Star Trek accessories. And later tonight, we'll be taking a plunge into the exciting and vigorous new world of Star Trek Discovery. Will there be a story this week? Join me and find out.
Well, you do learn one thing about the Breen that's not a spoiler. They deploy the Sat Brannigan. What?
Oh, I know they have a cold planet. That was about all we really. I mean, there's some.
No, it's actually quite pleasant. It's actually quite pleasant. No, we find out that the Breen the Breen like to deploy the Zap Brannigan method. Just said wave after wave with their old men.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant like show up as take their leader and bring them to the enemy in a bid for peace, like he did when Lur attacked the Earth.
No, that was different. No. Remember when he said to they went to fight the robot planet, and he said he knew that the robots had an automatic kill mount there, so he just set wave after wave of his own men there until they reached their kill limit. Then they shut down.
That's it. That sounds like something Zap Brannigan would do.
Yeah, I think they're trying to go with a parallel to the Russians, and they're trying to make the because the Russians they just kept sending wave after wave of men there at them. They'll throw as many men as possible. That's why they had such a high death count in the Second World War.
They weren't very good at war till they got better at it.
So I'm thinking they're trying to compare the Breen to the Russians, and make us hate the Russians,
That's weird because the people from Star Trek Discovery have like a very obvious political leaning, which I don't even have to say. And the people that believe what they believe would have us be hating on the Russians and loving on people from Lukewarmia or whatever the name of the country is, because I just don't watch the news. Is it Latveria? The Russians are at war with Latveria, correct?
Sure, we'll go with that.
Yeah, close enough.
Dr. Doom,
Russia in about.
So you just
Dr. Doom will beat them.
Yeah.
What's that?
You just backed up my statement then.
Which one is that?
But which side of the aisle hates the Russians?
Oh, I agree with that.
To the Russians. So he just backed up exactly.
I back up your statement. I would just add the asterisk of most Americans my age and older were raised to not dig the people loyal to the Kremlin, and that's kind of normal for people my age and older.
Oh yeah.
If
you went to school in the 80s, the Russians were Dr. Doom.
At times 10. Like Dr. Doom was more reasonable. You could talk to Dr. Doom. They're like Dr. Dick.
See, when I was born, the Soviet Union collapsed. So you could say my birth is the reason the Soviet Union collapsed.
That was what I said at the time. I said somewhere a child has been born which has caused all of this, and now I have found it. You know what? Thank God for New Russia Jesus. We're going to bring you there, and we'll run the place right. We'll make the trains run on time.
Yeah, because...
Hey, LDG. Mukbanging right now. I'll jump on when I get back.
Did you just say he was
that means
mukbanging?
He's eating.
Yeah. He's He is destroying the shellfish population on the East Coast. If you're gonna vomit, be sure you jump up here first.
Hey, just send some Dewars to my, or just send $10 to my thing. I'll drink some Dewars, see if we can get the puking going. I didn't puke last time, surprisingly, but also I was completely fucking hammered. That's getting past the point. I didn't care about the taste because I had those 5 shots at the rate at the beginning, one after another. Yeah, you missed it for the beginning of the stream there, for the American Society of Magical Negroes there.
I wish I had been at that stream so badly. You got to show me where I can get it. I mean, that's coming to my channel soon.
Yeah,
we do bad movies at my channel.
Well, before I even started the stream, I was like, before we start this fucking piece of shit, I turned my camera on. I was like, I just downed 5 shots, and the only reason I was 5 is because I ran out of shot glasses.
Hey, you know what? That's a reasonable amount of drinking to do when you see the publicity for the movie and the director starts out by saying that they're a great director and then that they give everyone freedom. And what the great thing about working with them is they give everyone the freedom to do what they want to do while creating a wonderful canvas to work off of. And while he's saying it, you see David Alan Grier actually blow a gasket because he realizes that the statement is crafted to mean, when something good happens, it's because of me. But if it didn't work, it's because the actor freestyled. And he snaps his head right around and says to him, on set, my nickname for you was Black Stalin.
Yeah.
And stares him the fuck down.
It gets better. And you realize David Alan Grier got paid more than what that movie grossed.
The whole budget. Yeah. Well, that's why he was there. And I think when they were able to make his fee, he got into the movie, and one of the first things he said to the director was, the director's like, this is a different kind of movie. Before even the Stalin comment, he goes, this is a different kind of movie. And he goes, yeah, different from the movie I signed up for.
Yeah.
And he goes, we had to make some changes. And he goes, you cut the musical number that I signed on just to do. You cut that right out of the movie. So he was deeply disgruntled. Like, he was not a well-gruntled man at that press conference. And I loved him truthing that director, who was a dick. The director was a dick.
Hey, Tig. There you go.
Here we go. Hey, what's going on, Sci-Fi Mombi? Hold up.
How you doing, Mombi? Welcome to the show. Get to the rest of these chats. And Suzanne Eckstein, welcome.
Hi, Suzanne.
Hey, Suzanne.
Good to see you. Badass grandma from Twitter.
Everyone exchanging greetings.
Friendly hails throughout the fleet. Guys, tweet out that Resolute Germ is live. Let everybody know that the roundtable has begun.
Yeah,
from now on, when we
now
meet,
available on YouTube and Twitter.
When we meet, it will be at a round table.
Okay. I got tonight's
sorry to hear you're not doing too great, Suzanne.
Yeah, by the way,
Gorilla, I understand you're going to be watching the Warriors later.
Yes.
Well, you know what? You're going to be seeing a place called Franz Stiegel Park, and the link is now in the private chat again, just so you can enjoy it and look at Google Earth. It's the park where they have the big meetup between all the gangs. They have the conversation walking up the into the park. You see like the brickwork on the sides of the path and the old-fashioned 1890s lamps that have been converted over to electricity. And on top of the thing, you see the same structure is still there. I drink and smoke marijuana there before Yankee games. It's right by Yankee Stadium, just steps away. That's where you go to drink, get high, and buy and scalp tickets before the Yankee game. Not that I'm giving travel advice.
So that's in the Bronx, huh?
Yes, and it's accurate to the movie because I think they go through Manhattan into the Bronx, and they have to return to Brooklyn. So that is a formidable subway ride as that goes. It's only 90 minutes, but then again, so's the movie.
Hey, can you explain something to me? Because I noticed this in New York. I see a South Bronx, a Melrose, a William McKinnon House, and Forest Houses. Are those like just suburbs or different?
Those are
towns,
projects. No, those are projects. There are 30 or 40,000 people who live in each building. They're 10 to 14 stories high. They have central, utilities and a power plant. They're city housing. And, we have there are blocks there that have like 40,000 to 60,000 people living on them. This is New York City, so it goes way up. And it's a big Dominican neighborhood. You'd love it. It's got one of the worst McDonald's and one of the best bars in New York.
Yeah. So there's more people
where I like to drink.
So what you're saying is there's more people in one apartment complex than there's in my entire county.
That apartment complex has like 2 city council seats.
So your apartment, that apartment complex, is 3 times bigger. Is 3 times more populated than my county.
Google Earth it and look at the front of it and look how many rows of dozens and dozens of rows across, dozens and dozens of rows high of windows. Yeah, 8 million people live. There are 8 million people in New York City, in the city of New York. The people have 2 separate, but not necessarily equal baseball teams. The Yankees, who win, and the Mets, who play in Queens. Yeah. These are their stories.
But basically what I'm saying is you said there's 30,000 in one apartment complex. That is 3 times more people than in my county because we are under 10,000 in my county.
If that thing has 8,000 units, it could have 6 people per unit.
So you're basically saying you live in Mega City 1.
You live in Mega City 1. But I mean, if you scroll up from it, you will see notable structure Yankee Stadium represented nearby. And, of course, a building I know well in my guise as a dangerous mafioso. The courthouses are right near there.
Oh, so after you get done with court, you can go to a Yankees game, huh?
Yeah, that's right. And sometimes when I go there to face down and intimidate attorneys on the various violent felonies that I'm brought up on charges for because I'm so dangerous, I just go to the Yankee game. And, of course, I sit in the dugout because everyone's afraid of me. I don't even buy a ticket. I walk in.
Of course, it's there mainly for the convenience of the players. Especially in the 90s. In the 90s, they freaking needed easy access so they can go get and then go play.
We're going to get the 86 Mets back together again, give them even more money, and set them loose in fucking pinstripes. That's the 96 Yankees.
Hey,
Derek Jeter. Yes, what's up?
You want to read this chat?
Who are the Mets again? Just kidding. The Mets are the team that plays in Queens. They have like 19 different uniforms. You should see some of these uniforms. They don't even look like baseball uniforms. I think they have ones with skirts. It's crazy.
They're a Citibank money laundering outfit.
The way things are going
baseball
there,
players.
You know what? They do usually have a good season and get smote down in the play-in game. It's gotten to the point where their fans are really frustrated by that. It's like every year you could set your watch by it. And I would just say, while I am a Yankee fan because I like to win, hey, I'm from Queens. And so, meet the Mets. What can I tell you? I'm going to go to a few Met games. It's a fun time at the park that doesn't cost as much as the Yankee game. I could go to a Met game for $15. It's fine. I know the Cardinals fans call the Mets pond scum. But, the Cardinals, good team. Second most World Series in the majors to the Yankees. The Cardinals now have, I believe, 13. Lucky number. May you have 13 for a very, very long time, 100 years or more. May that number hold up for hundreds of years. And, the Yankees, 27, I think, of 100.
Yeah, that's not bad.
We're going to win again this year. Watch. And if we have to cheat to do it, I'll make it legal. That's all I have to say. 50% of all baseball
in the 90s.
50% of all baseball merchandise is Yankee merchandise. Yeah, that is true, but don't think our desire to cheat and win has grown any less potent. If we could give someone drugs and get away with it, we'll hire Alex Rodriguez and pretend like he's a nice guy. till everyone shames the Yankees into sitting them down for a half season because they don't want them getting 700 home runs in Babe Ruth's uniform, and I agreed with that.
Yeah. I'm not saying the desire isn't there. It's without old George, the ability, you just don't have the execution.
George Steinbrenner was banned for life from baseball 3 times for cheating and fucking influence peddling and like fucking stalking his own players. He was a sociopath, but he won.
Yep. Which puts him one up over Jerry Jones.
There you go. Jerry Jones, though, living his best life, likes to hang out with teenage girls when he goes to sororities at colleges. He's an 80-year-old man, but he might date a 19-year-old. This is why we get rich, in my opinion.
Oh, it's a very good reason. Just to live out the rest of your life as Hugh Hefner.
Exactly. But enough about baseball. Let's talk about the Warriors. I don't know how much of the rest of it was filmed in New York. I think a lot of it is soundstage. Hey, Sithdan. We have Deborah von Valkenburg in there. She's one of the co-stars in Free Enterprise, the movie by Robert Meyer Burnett about Star Trek. It's got William Shatner in it too.
Yeah. It's been at least 20 years since I've seen The Warriors.
It's a pretty good movie. New York was never, ever as bad as they make it seem. There's never as much gang activity. It's pure fantasy, but it's a lot of fun. It's a fun movie.
Yeah, I just remember that one scene that they always show with the bottles clanking together.
Yeah.
That guy's... Sorry, go ahead.
I was just going to say, I've never seen it before, so it's the first watch for me.
Okay, the bad guy in this movie, he has 2 other really notable roles that you should be aware of. David E. Kelly is his name. His other role that's really big you might have heard of is in a little movie called Commando with Arnold Schwarzenegger, where he plays a memorable character called Sully. You might remember that character. If you don't, though, he's also in Flags of Our Fathers as Harry S. Truman.
Before you say anything, Gorilla, I'm willing to put money on you haven't seen either of those.
Seen which 2?
Flags of Our Fathers, Commando.
Flags of My Father seems familiar.
Yeah, it's about World War II.
Well, I see a lot of movies about World War II.
Yeah, I'm starting to believe it might have really happened. I was skeptical for a while.
Yeah, a lot of good World War II movies.
For whatever reason,
not so much lately.
For a 39-month conflict, it seems to have all been filmed from like 4 angles.
Well, they can only film the victor side, or make the other side look really horrible.
Yeah,
we've got some captured enemy footage, but for the most part, yeah.
Have a good night, Mombi.
See ya.
Bye, Mombi.
Nope, I'll be right back.
Yeah, you don't really see a lot of good World War II ones featuring Germans. It's a lot of bad horror.
I guess the good one with the Germans is Downfall. It's a messed up movie, but it's good. They're not presented in a positive light.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a good line from the movie. It's another one I'm going to have to put on Gorilla's list. And hello, Jim's Landscaping, Commodore Productions. Welcome.
Hey, Jim.
Oh, still mowing. Wow. It's after 8 o'clock for you, isn't it?
It's
Yeah, you
8:23
working real late.
p.m. in the East Coast of the United States.
Yeah, I believe that's where Jim is.
Perhaps he's mowing a baseball field and has lights.
And check out an interview he did on, I forget what channel that was. But someone interviewed Jim for his fan films. I haven't seen all of it, but it's pretty good for the portions I did see. And we got stream elements. And
Hello,
Brad Wolf,
Wolf.
welcome. Long
Thomas
time no
looks
see,
like-
Brad Wolf.
Hey, Brad Wolf, haven't seen you in a month of Sundays.
Cool avatar.
Yeah. Anyway, I got distracted by Jim coming in. World War II movies.
Fury was a World War II movie that was exciting with good action, and yet at the same time was a horrible fucking movie.
Oh, come on. You
Yeah.
got to go with Pearl Harbor with the pointless, because everybody has to fall in love right before the bombs start dropping. Then you go off
Yeah, that
to
one's
fucking
dumb.
Britain there. She thinks you're dead, so your best friend knocks her up on a one-night stand.
I would have made the same move on Kate Beckinsale, but yeah.
Well, then he come home there, and she finds out that freaking Pearl. She's acting like nothing happened. The Pearl Harbor gets bombed. So they're back off to war again. The guy who knocked her up dies, so he goes back home to her and takes care of his best friend's kid that he knocked up his woman with. And
It was
named
either
after
that or stay at war with Alec Baldwin. So, like, he would have been at great risk, like from the enemy and his own side.
It's open topic. Brad Wolf. Right now, we're on World War II movies.
And just, really quickly, isn't that like the one time they tried to let Transformers guy make a real movie, and he showed that he couldn't do anything with people? Like, all the people were Transformers. They just acted like Transformers too. Like, what the fuck is the guy's name that I'm thinking of?
Not
he was
Michael
basically
Bay.
Michael Bay. Isn't Pearl Harbor Michael Bay?
I think so.
Yeah, that's why, like, the characters are fucking horrible. Everything about that movie is bad except the attack sequence, which is good, but lasts like 17 minutes, and then it's just...
And the thing
You
is,
to
they have
the cross the streams option. I'm not sure. I didn't see anything like that. If that's a default option, yeah, it should be.
It's in your settings where you go, and then you either enable or do not enable local recordings. It's on the settings wheel.
No, he's asking guests there, and then if guests can stream to their own locations.
At the moment, it's not set up that way.
Yeah, is that something I can set up midstream? I don't know.
Who knows?
You can. Here, I'll do it for you.
Okay, yeah, go ahead.
There you go. It just appeared. The tab just appeared. You can see in the left corner, in the right corner. As you can see, that's something I just don't do that one.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're already halfway through.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Michael Bay just directed, and and by the way, Ben Affleck should have been like, look, I can only play someone from the Northeast. I've been trying to do this Southern accent for like a week now, and I suck at it. Because he did.
Yeah, he sucks at anything but Boston. And hey, Courtney,
he probably he probably can't play New York.
No, hey, Courtney. No, there's like Pearl Harbor had a couple good lines though. Like I like that when they first show up at Pearl Harbor, they looked at him, they're scuffing at him, go, they asked who they are, where are they? Pride of the Pacific, who are you? And they just said, Tears of the Skies. And no, it's like they're the ones that showed up are the only ones that got planes off the ground.
And they
They
managed
only
to,
got.
if we had got, go ahead.
No, yeah, because like the ones that came from the mainland, they're the only ones that got planes off the sky. The other ones there, they just the one other guy that managed to get like 2 feet off the ground. He was the original Hawaiian guy. He's the one that got shot down right on the ground because he wouldn't pull up.
In actuality, the attack on that airfield was so devastating and so effective. They got most of the pilots before they got out of their barracks. They attacked the barracks, then they attacked the planes. They got most of them on the ground. And that movie, I just want to say, if we had gotten like 5 planes off the ground, we could have repulsed the entire attack by the rules of that movie. It was like a video game once they went in the air. It was just like unlimited ammo, like slicing planes to pieces in the air. There's a minute here and a minute there that's okay, but the movie in general is pretty bad.
No, they did pretty good. When you got the hell of a pilots that managed to actually get the planes off the ground mid attack, they shot down the weaklings of the Japanese side.
They get like 11 Japanese planes, but I'll allow it.
Yeah, well, you got to remember, five of them. Well, they played chicken like they were in crop dusters there.
Right, they were stupid.
They crashed 5 of them, and another one was shot down once they drove past the tower. Once they got get some goddamn guns in that tower.
A lone minute that was true was the Cuba Gooding character is a real character. That guy we shot down 28 planes total that day. All right, we got our asses handed to us. They shot down like 11 planes. I'm just saying, it was a little bit much. So if we had gotten like 7 or 8 planes off the ground by the rules of that movie, we would have repulsed the attack, and saved like 2 or 3 of the ships.
Hey, Edge of Time, welcome.
Hey.
And Courtney's Fellowship of Oddballs. And that says stream elements. And let's go back to Brad Wolf. Most straight men would take the risk on Kate Beckinsale.
He's not coming back. Yes. You see the guy die, he's not coming back. You are gonna if I make it home alive, I'm getting all the way there with Kate Beckinsale. She's gorgeous. I've seen Underworld.
I've also seen pictures of her now. Not aged quite as well as you'd hope.
This was 2001. Which war movie would you rather be stuck in, Pearl Harbor or Black Hawk Down? Black Hawk Down, much better movie. You only got to stay alive for like a day. But, pretty much everybody dies in Pearl Harbor except like fucking Gentle Ben.
Yeah, Ben must have something in his contract about not dying.
He was just more popular than the other character, and he made the movie because Michael Bay was not disproven yet, and because he wanted to work with his friend is the best I could come up with. That movie, there's some problems. And then that movie just has problems because it's not very cohesive. The movie that has problems because the story is just really bad is Fury. It's a really good action movie, but no one in that tank is admirable. They smoke 3 or 4 prisoners, just smoke them. While the stuff that happened in the movie was relatively true, we didn't have to dwell on it. We see a lot of dead non-adult people. Lots and lots of them. It's fucking grim. Yeah, Cuba Gooding's character was real. His name was Doris Miller. He was awarded the Congressional Medal of Honor, and there were still so many problems in America back then that he stayed in the kitchen for the rest of the war. They didn't put him on a fucking machine gun.
Well, I think he's the first black man to receive the Navy Cross while he's alive, and he's one of the first ones to. I think he's one of the few black men that actually received the Congressional Medal of Honor.
I think the Glory guys got it, but
I said one of the
yes.
few. But back in that
no.
day,
Well, now it's pretty representative, but yes, of course.
yeah, I'm talking about like for World War II.
Yeah, right. In World War II, America was very different, and Gene Roddenberry and other people wrote Star Trek the way they did because it was offensive to see a guy like Doris Miller, who was one of the few people to fight back effectively at Pearl Harbor, where we get our asses kicked. He's like he dies during a battle in the kitchen. They don't give him a real combat post or anything. Like, he should not have been sent back to be like. So what if they made him like the head of the kitchen? I mean, give me a fucking break. The guy had proved his mettle. He was a warrior.
Yeah, but then you got to deal with all the other assholes saying that they won't serve next to him because of this color of his skin, which is
things
right now we look back on that as bullshit, but that's the way things were back then.
Things were that way then. It's not that way anymore.
They're all assholes in Fury. I think that was the point of the movie, Dan.
They're beyond assholes. They are beyond assholes. They are horrible. They're inadmirable. They're twisted by war. When they get a replacement, the first thing they do is indifferently make them pull their friend's remains out of the tank. It's really messed up. They take a few prisoners, and the first one that they delete, they beat the shit out of their own dude. And then Brad Pitt holds the gun in his hand while other guys beat down the German, and he sort of goes on for way too long. It's much worse than the bear Jew scene in Inglourious Bastards. And then finally they blow this guy's brains out. And from doing that, Norman, as he's called, he's also in Mad Max Fury Road. That actor, he's a good actor. He gives a good. There's all good performances in that bad movie, which is one thing that might fool you, but. Like, after they get him to war crime, this German guy, and like, there's things called like information and tactically like usable information. Like, where is your unit? How many weapons do you have? How many guys? Do you have any artillery? And so they just smoke this guy out of nowhere, like, because they want to. And then, like, for the rest of the movie, we just like delete surrendering Germans a lot and talk about how that's cool. And then, like, we have a decent last stand battle that ends with an over-the-top combat scene that becomes cartoonish long before it ends. And the movie has it both ways. I don't like Fury. Is the action awesome? Yeah.
Yeah. Not the best Brad Pitt movie.
Is there any really good Brad Pitt movie?
Well, not really, really good, but
yeah.
Inglourious Bastards is better than.
It's more fun. Yeah, I'd rather watch Inglourious Bastards. I will say, like, he gives his all in Fury. He tries to give a good performance. The movie was like inherently stupid. Like, why does Brad Pitt speak German out of nowhere, unexplained in the movie, just so he can verbally joust with the Germans in a verbal contest that is just overlapping insults? So if they had yelled at him in German and he had just yelled back a lot of profanity in English in our, it wouldn't have changed the movie. And it's not like they didn't translate everybody's German. So, like, you just had the word fuck on screen instead of being screams, but it was just so stupid. And every single fucking prisoner they took, they killed.
So in other words, they're swearing for swearing's sake.
Yeah.
Not just that, which I don't care about. It's a war movie. People are going to try to delete each other. They're going to be screaming F you. That's fine with me. I'm sure it's true. The part that I thought was stupid was he spoke German so that they could have this verbal jousting, but the verbal jousting didn't add anything to the movie. It was just like a bunch of yelling. Yes, Doris Story Miller, October 12th, 1919 to November 24th, 1943, was an American naval cook who is the first black recipient of the Navy Cross and a nominee for the Medal of Honor. Has he since been awarded this
Oh wait, I don't think he got the Medal of Honor, but he did get a ship named after me, the USS Miller.
He deserved the Medal of Honor, and the movie does that's one of the things the movie does a fairly good job in, is depicting him. Yeah, did Doris Miller get the Medal of Honor? It just fills in. Let's see. No American serviceman would be awarded a Medal of Honor for heroics in World War II until the 1990s.
Oh, that's a little late.
They really we want to make absolutely sure of this one. That is terrible. Miller was rewarded
2 acres.
Miller was recommended for the Medal of Honor, but was instead awarded the Navy Cross for gallantry in action aboard the USS West Virginia on December 7th, 1941. In 1942, Congress revised the order of precedence, placing the Navy Cross above the Navy's Distinguished Service Medal. So he was awarded a different medal than he ultimately ended up holding because they reordered the medals, but that happens in a lot of wars. For instance, the only medal we had was at first was the Purple Heart, and it was just everyone who served got one.
I thought the Purple Heart was for wounded.
After they reordered the medals at the beginning of World War One, the Purple Heart is the only one they have for service for a long time, and it was also then the only other medal they had at first was the Congressional Medal of Honor. And it wasn't really they had to look at the Congressional Medal of Honor, and they spent about 30 years revising them on a case-by-case basis. They at one point took back 300 in one fell swoop from an entire unit because they were given it simply for re-enlisting. It was the only medal we had for anything, so a lot of them got changed. The ones awarded from because we've conferred Congressional Medal of Honor on people who served before it existed posthumously, saying that they qualified for it, and other stuff George Washington was not a 5-star general because it didn't exist, but he's considered America's first 5-star general.
Yeah, which is
yes, I do have it. Sith Dan is correct. Yes, I have a degree in U.S. history and world history. And political science, which is why I never ever watch the news.
And Glorious Bastards was horribly, horribly inaccurate, even within itself.
Yeah, but
still very enjoyable. About that.
Yes. Let me ask you a question. Do we now go to a Tarantino movie basically expecting that? Because that's kind of how I feel. It's just you went to a Tarantino movie, you were expecting it to make sense.
Yeah, he's on way too many drugs for that.
Wouldn't you be disappointed if it just had made sense? You know what I mean? All of a sudden it resolved and lined up with real events. It was off the rails from the middle of the movie on.
Yeah, you never expect Tarantino to follow logic or get the story across. It's just he has events in his head and he just shoots them as they are in his head.
That's the craziest one he ever did, but I agree.
It's a shame he never really did sci-fi. I would have, considering what we got now, I would have liked to seen him get the chance to do Star Trek. It can't be as bad as the crap they're making now.
He was given the chance to do Star Trek. He was going to do Star Trek. He started the research. He started writing the script, and then Star Trek Discovery hit the air, and he backed out.
It's a shame. It was probably 100 times better.
The plot that he spoke of
made no damn sense.
The plot that he spoke of, he said, first of all, they told him he didn't have to abide by any rules whatsoever, including Kelvin. It meant nothing. So he didn't know what to make of that. That freaked him out. Then they also said this was going to be the last movie for the Kelvin cast because they didn't have enough money to keep going with them. So his plan was have them do some stuff that was related to City on the Edge of Forever, go through the Guardian of Forever, encounter the next gen crew, reboot Next Generation as a courtesy to the franchise, and get them back into play with new actors playing them at a younger age, and then have the original TOS reboot crew, the Kelvin crew. Most of, if not all of them, would have died like in bloody gunshot deaths back in time, saving the TNG people.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, like think about this one. It would have been a piece of the action and a guardian of the City on the Edge of Forever, mixed with like the Dixon Hills holodeck episodes. And I guess there would have been some jokes about Data being South American. That's what he was pitching. Then he saw
we'll find a way to hate it, regardless of what you actually saw. Now, Mr. Lindell, I do not hate everything, just most things. But that's because most things suck. Start your own history class and political science class. Maybe you can help people that find no idea what they are talking about in those areas of getting things done.
Unfortunately, if people learned how to do things in those areas, they would suddenly not want to be elected.
Most people would not want to be alive.
I honestly wonder out loud if anybody would ever want to be a political leader or even like a military leader, if that isn't like maybe a little bit of narcissism right there, to the point that I'm like a little bit worried. Like, I wonder why anyone would want to be president. So therefore, everyone who wants to be president makes me wonder right away, just because they want it.
Yeah, it has to be some type of ego to actually want a job like that.
Or senator, or House of Reps.
Yeah. Just let everything manage itself and they'll go okay-ish.
I like Mr. Lundell's response to you about when he asked. I guess he's talking about when you challenged him that you hate everything. It's funny.
Well, yeah, most things do suck. Have you seen TV lately?
Mr. Lundell does watch groovier, better movies than us.
He does have a good selection.
And he gives good advice like shut the fuck. He does give good advice like shut the fuck up and worry about your own channel. He's probably right about that one too. I like it a lot.
There you go.
It's hostile to its own story, but by the time we get to that Quentin Tarantino movie, even though he does surprise me, that movie constitutes the very last time there's anything left he can do to surprise me. Because we're talking like 25 years of Tarantino movies at that point. And I always thought that he was crazy with his times, that the movies had plots where things couldn't have actually happened. If you ironed out and made chronological, like someone must have made a chronological supercut of like the most confusing one would be Pulp Fiction, right? And I would just wonder what that movie is like. I don't understand why he does what he does, but Quentin Tarantino and David Lynch don't have to play by the rules to make good movies. I enjoyed Django Unchained, and I watched it 4 or 5 times. It was fun every time. Do I want to see another movie like Django Unchained within like a year or two of seeing Django Unchained? If Tarantino worked a little bit faster, I might not like his movies. It takes until the next Tarantino movie for me to be ready for another Tarantino movie, right? Like, but quite honestly, you need about a year off between movies because he'll break your brain a little bit.
Preferably 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, like when we all saw Inglourious Bastards, it was fun. Brad Pitt's performance was great. Michael Myers, out of nowhere, thrown in there, did a good job, and other strange things like that. Hitler never worked and wasn't supposed to be Hitler. He was like out of the producers. A lot of stuff going on there was lampoonish. By the middle of the movie, you knew things weren't going the way that they went in the real world. The movie gets crazier and crazier and crazier till when the movie starts to culminate for the last 45 minutes and all plots kind of resolve. Like, you're not expecting anything but worst case scenarios through the whole thing and crazy, most unbelievable things that can happen because he's Quentin Tarantino. And when what happens in that movie, we won't spoil the end, but it ain't like what happened in real life. What happens in that movie. You're like, yep, that's Quentin Tarantino. So that's the deal. It's not like in his next movie he revalidated it. It was kind of like his movies are episodic. Like he walks away from it and does another crazy world. The world in this next movie is just as nuts, but I mean, it's contained. It's the only movies that allegedly share a world are Django and Hateful Eight, which is a movie I like too. Hateful Eight, Django might be a better movie than Hateful Eight. More watchable, at least. So. I enjoyed Django more. And Samuel L. Jackson was better as a bad guy than most of his performances as a good guy these days.
Oh, yeah, definitely. That character in Django, some of his best work. Hateful Eight, everyone was good all around, but no real standout performances.
Again, yes. I mean, perhaps Jennifer Jason Leigh. If anyone had a standout performance, it's her. But that character just makes you cringe just hearing the name in that regards to that movie. The most cringe role by Jennifer Jason Leigh since Last Exit to Brooklyn.
Oh, you got an STD from watching STD.
Be very, very careful. And whatever you do not Google Harvey Weinstein penis.
Yeah. But thankfully, you can clear up that Star Trek STD.
It's going to clear up itself in a few more episodes. There's only 3 hours of that shit left.
Or if you want to get rid of it, watch good sci-fi. Watch some Farscape, and it'll the STD will just leave your system.
I'm fairly sure that we're in for another huge nothing burger again tonight.
That's pretty much a guarantee.
The thing is with the show
ending, they can do.
But the thing is with the show ending and them culminating, their story. One, their story doesn't make sense. They solve it by convenience at the end of every other episode. Again, they found their MacGuffin piece off screen, off camera, outside the story, mentioned it at the end, and put another piece in their puzzle. They must have been very proud of that. And it's genocide again. And it's a very difficult show to talk about and describe, and I just can't wait to jump in there in a half hour and do it.
Yeah, it's a lot of that. The only question is, did they forget to actually film something, or did they just run out of money and weren't able to film it?
There's a lot of stuff they ran out of money and weren't able to film, and like they're leaking stuff on the internet the next day. Like, that's brilliant storytelling. Like, for instance, they're able to find the people they're after are super criminals who are more sympathetic and cooler than them, but they have stolen the ISS Enterprise from the Mirror Universe, and they've deposited it in their own pocket universe. How they do this is not explained. How the ship has no crew on it is not explained.
No, it's salvage rights under that where they got it, the ISS. It fell under salvage rights.
So they beam over there to another empty ship and work together with their mostly empty ship, and they pull the ISS Enterprise out of there. We never really get a good look at it. And then when we do see it finally, it's a scene harvested from like Strange New Worlds or Star Trek Discovery Season 1 of the Enterprise just sailing away. And there was no one on there. They don't explain why the ship isn't like rolling back into the singularity it came out of, or like listing, or why they aren't tractor beaming it. Nothing. It's sailing away in a very slow, controlled, like 1/4 impulse kind of drive is the only way I would describe it. And they look at each other and they smile and they look back out the window again, and then like the episode ends, and I'm like, wow, so they had reactions and special effects, and they just cobbled that together. No one said anything about how is this ship flying. We don't put we didn't have the money to put a tractor beam on it for a new effect. So it's just here now. This evil ship from another world that we know is malevolent, and I guess it's piloting itself because it's an evil flying Dutchman. Who knows? The next day, the internet leak is that we all obviously knew that the helmsman of the Discovery beamed over to fly it, which I guess means we won't see that redheaded lady anymore.
Well, you can only hope.
I wonder how many producers we'll have tonight. We might be down. There's not a lot of money left to steal. Could we have as little as 16 producers tonight? We've only unlocked the 22 producer achievement twice this season. For those out there who are fans of the producer count on our show, it's just been a really rough season. You know, they just really haven't been giving us a lot of extra producers like we've been used to in the past.
Well, yeah, Rat's already jumping off ship. They can stick around for a bit of a paycheck, but they can go infest some other project.
I think it's more like the bigger rats are forcing the smaller rats off the ship for the shrinking paycheck. They're like, nope, I'm still getting mine, but you got to go.
Yeah, that's also possible. How is the ship flying? My guess, telekinesis.
They don't even they are so they don't get any communications. Yeah. This could have been voiced over. They could have been voiced over, like, you know, like the comm goes off and it's like, we've beamed our helmsman over to control the alien ship, but nothing.
No. The answer is, it's the power of math, people.
Yeah, that if we would have gotten an answer, it would have been that one. The week after that episode, Tilly wins a feat of strength.
Tilly won a feat of strength.
Oh yeah, she won a marathon. You know, being 300 pounds.
Oh,
you know,
yeah.
But she won
this was the second marathon she won. Let's just be straight about that.
Well, when you're jogging around causing an earthquake and all the other participants flee in terror.
This time around, what happened was she just plain clean won because Mikey Spock tapped out to tell the leader that he was actually a failure and to tell him that there was no God and it didn't matter because they had friends like the Federation now. It was so on Star Trek and so fucking dark.
Yeah. Saying, oh yeah, I meant to do that. Doesn't matter, I ran out of money. They're just trying to defend their cheaping out or just plain stupidity.
You know what? It's both, because there wasn't enough money left for them to care. They just didn't. So when they were like, when this ship gets pulled through the black hole into their galaxy out of all this harvested CGI and like 2 new shots, you know, in this episode made up just of pickup shots filmed during other episodes, where we have had 2 scenes filmed just for this episode and that's it. And most every other crew member isn't in it. Yet again, we find a lot of times where like people fall into their own pocket universe or the whole episode's a dream, that they're all alone. Like a lot of episodes just have like 2 cast members in almost all of them. And they just have an obsessive conversation that lasts for the whole show. I mean, but no, Tilly beat an entire planet in an endurance race. And then after winning it, she kind of like did the equivalent of, imagine running down, hitting safely, you know, imagine being at the plate at the World Series and you get a hit, and instead of breaking for first, you run down the third baseline as a joke. She turned around and broke the rules of the race to help the loser of the race and her win together. And guess what the prize of the race was?
I'm hoping death.
Yes, you are correct. You have figured out everything about Star Trek Discovery, my friend.
You know, this could have been the best episode ever if they would have followed through with it too. Kind of like Justified. That would have been the best episode of TNG ever if Picard will let
Even
him
STD.
go through with it.
Yes, I would agree with that. If they had died, it would have been better.
No, it was the best episode ever. They were off Tilly on that one.
The best episode of New Trek ever was probably there was one episode of Strange New Worlds where everybody was stupid, so Spock was slightly less stupid. So because everyone was stupid, the smartest stupid person was Spock, and he got to be the king of the idiots. And he was able to be smart enough to solve the problem to get them out of the MacGuffin zone. Like he's the one who figured the problem out. It was like they had to make everyone else stupid to do it, but Spock actually got to be smart in one episode. Maybe that's their best episode.
I think it's all just comparing dung piles.
I think that I probably have a brain tumor from watching so much New Trek, and that I will probably one day pay a price in my health for it. I have already beat up on my liver and kidneys after watching some episodes.
Yeah, that's what you have to do to get through that sort of crap.
It's sort of like being a sex worker. Sex work is real work, and someone has to do it. But wow, like I'm not gonna let them shame and debase Star Trek in the dark. I'll shine light on it. But at the same time, like yeah, I've now watched too much New Trek. If you thought like that might be the most horrible world of all fictional worlds to live in, like worse than the Snyderverse, worse than the Star Wars world, worse than the MCU.
I'd say Snyderverse may be a little bit worse.
It's a little bit worse in the Snyderverse just because like the I don't know. It's the Snyderverse and this and the new Trek verse are like they're pretty similar. Lots of cataclysmic events, man, like much tragedy, strong women rise to save the day every time. This it's almost the same thing.
Yeah, and unfortunately, DC doesn't have a huge death toll. So you're living through all that countless shit every time. Zod comes to
And
Earth, somehow you survive.
and then it sets up preposterous situations like in Batman versus Superman, Clark Kent says to Perry White, "There's some reports of a bat vigilante down by the docks," and he's like, it's bullshit, Kent. No one cares. There's probably no bat vigilante." And he's like, "I've heard news reports of a bat vigilante in Gotham," and he's like, "There is no bat vigilante." And nickels, what does he say? Apples don't cost a nickel anymore, and it's not 1933 anymore because he's making reference to when the comic started. Like they're trying to make it be funny. But the truth of the matter is, his city was leveled by aliens the year before. Gotham is within sight of Metropolis. He's never looked across the river and seen the bat signal. Like he's never watched a TV game where Gotham played Metropolis.
The
You know what I
thing I
mean?
don't buy the most about that is they rebuilt Metropolis.
In like a year.
Yeah. Any major metropolitan area, you may be able to get it done, but the logistics with City Hall, the state, the feds, it would take 25 years.
25 years easily. Between you and me, you guys, you watch a lot more animated stuff than I do. I watch most of my animated stuff with you. Superman the animated series, Batman the animated series, Metropolis, Gotham. Batman drives from one to the other in BVS. We can't tell them apart. Isn't that a crime? Isn't that a major omission by Zack Snyder?
They're supposed to be quite different.
Shouldn't we be able to tell when he leaves one and gets into the other? I'm asking.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
It should be obvious.
Yeah.
Hey, Germ, I gotta get going. So
Okay.
we'll see. We'll see in like half an hour.
Go ahead and drop your link in
Adios,
chat
Gorilla.
for the Warriors.
All right. What?
Drop the link for the Warriors in chat before you go.
Okay, I can do that.
So, as for the animated series, Batman animated series through Justice League Unlimited time frame. That would include pretty much everything they did, up to including Young Justice.
I love Brad Wolf's most recent comment.
City destroyed by aliens, by a man in a bat costume. You may qualify for compensation.
I'm Perry White, former editor of the Daily Planet. I once believed that water was wet and crime wave in Gotham wasn't unusual. Then my city was leveled by aliens. I saw it come down around me. In fact, one of my reporters saved the woman at great cost to his life, and later, when he invited her to a baseball game, she completely shamed him like a bitch. That's what happens in the Snyderverse. No good deed goes unpunished. Mercy Graves' family was my first successful litigation. I got over $20 million from the U.S. Congress for the unjust and untimely death of Mercy Graves.
All right. There you go. There's the link for that. So, we'll see ya.
Yeah. See ya, girl.
Yep. Bye. See ya, T.
30 minutes. Be watching The Warriors on Gorilla's channel. Hopefully PvP's there too. This is for him. Finishing up by saying Gotham and Metropolis in that timeline. Gotham is sort of like North New York State, New Hampshire sort of area. It's supposed to be right in between New York City and Boston.
I thought that Gotham was like Detroit, and so maybe it was on a lake or something like that. And I thought that Metropolis was more supposed to be New York. That was my impression.
That's the older timelines, like Silver Age. A lot of them, they just outright called them New York in the old days.
I prefer when the cities have their own character. I hate to say this, but like, it's not a good movie, but Joel Schumacher has a better feel of what Gotham City looks like in Batman Forever and Batman and Robin than we ever see from Zack Snyder.
Yeah, definitely, because it's just horrible.
People are thinking, listen to crazy Admiral Teague saying this about the movie with the stupid ice skates, to which I say, Martha. Zack Snyder was pretty stupid too.
Yeah. But in the 90s timeline, Northern New York and Metropolis is actually Delaware-ish area.
Gotcha. It's like DC, like an affluent outside of DC, East Coast city.
Yeah, they're both supposed to be East Coast cities, but spread out.
Right. So, and Gotham's further north and more like New York and Chicago and Detroit rolled into one.
Yeah. And because they're trying to equivalent all the superhero cities to be in the same universe as the cities that they're roughly based off of.
All right.
Like with Coast City and the Central City is supposed to be closer along the lines of Cleveland. But it exists in the same universe as Cleveland.
Yeah. Brad Wolf makes a point here. He hates the decision to put Gotham and Metropolis next to each other. It bugs the crap out of me. It made no sense. In some ways, if they had used it right, it made a little bit of sense. But when they put Gotham within view of Metropolis, and earlier in the movie, we see a bat signal, and Batman says to Alfred, "We've been at it 20 years." And Perry White is a newspaper guy. Batman brands people with a red-hot batarang. So the cities have now been wherever they're supposed to be. Their proximity is Minneapolis and St. Paul, right?
Yeah.
All right. So if there's a vigilante in St. Paul, do they know about it in Minneapolis?
Of course.
There you go.
The best I could come up with, Perry White is corrupt.
No, Perry White is an idiot who hates the
bat. So Perry White doesn't publish anything about the bat.
I think he's an idiot who hates the news. No one in the Snyderverse's traits fit their job. Superman hates. Hey, what's going on, LDG? Superman hates being Superman. I don't think we see him save anyone but Lois in those movies.
Not directly, no. Almost home. Better hurry up, LDG. We got maybe 15 more minutes.
And I'll be leaving in a few to lead the few, the proud, the members of the Admiralty fleet of STD watching old Star Trek fans. Join me for Star Trek Share Your Pain.
Yeah. If you're enjoying masochism, go watch STD with them.
It's almost over. The show sucks. The watch party will be fun. Exactly, Admiral. 20 years of Batman, and Metropolis just ignores anything out of Gotham. That would not end well for the regular people. Not just that, but like, let's just pretend the movie is what it is. Perry White at his age wasn't alive before cable and never saw TV from fucking the other city, where he was just like, again, even a baseball game, Gotham versus fucking Metropolis. Now they're really close. Now their hockey teams would play each other. Now their basketball teams would play each other. He didn't, and this is supposed to be part of the Nolanverse. Aliens destroyed a city. He didn't hear about the time that the guy in a bat outfit saved the entire city from Bane's bomb. He's never watched the news or read a newspaper from the city next to him. If there's a fucking serial killer in Philadelphia, I know about it 90 miles away in New York. And that's much, much, much further than these cities. These cities are 6 or 7 miles apart. Batman drives there in like 8 minutes. They make the point of kind of showing you that it's real time.
That's why I lean closer to that Perry White is just in the pocket of the mayor. The city doesn't want Batman to be acknowledged. Perry White will fight tooth and nail to deny the existence of any Bat vigilante anywhere within the tri-state area.
It could be true.
But that's the one good thing about what they're doing at Warner Brothers now. At least all that other stuff is dead and buried. So all the new stuff could come in fresh and be stillborn.
Setting Batgirl on fire may have been genius.
Yeah, at least we didn't have to suffer through that. But then we got that stupid release about that Superman. It's the picture of him putting on his boots and the world's ending outside.
Yeah, I just like there's nothing super about it. It's like the most mundane picture ever, and it makes you question the sanity of the ad campaign. And it makes you like, you know what that ad would have worked for? It would have worked for the John Cena character. Why am I blanking on his name? You know what I'm talking about. Peacemaker. That works for Peacemaker. Peacemaker's insane. Peacemaker wouldn't care if most people don't make it because he thinks most people aren't that great. Like, Peacemaker's on a redemptive arc. Superman's supposed to be like trying to stop that shit before it gets to the point where he's like, and what it looks like he's getting ready for the flight of shame, pulling the boots on the couch.
Yeah, or he's getting ready. It's Monday morning. He has to go out and do his job, which he could care less about. Oh, woe is me. I gotta go save the damn Earth and some damn reporter bitch who won't sleep with me.
That was Snyderman's problem. I don't want that again. Although in Snyderman, Lois likes him. Think about it. Perry White, after being dead wrong about the aliens throughout the entire movie Man of Steel, like, he won't budge on a guy dressed as a bat to avoid detection. Which is like, if it happened in our world, people would call him Batman, but like, hey, critically thinking, it's good to see you.
Hey, critically thinking. Welcome. Oh, and you're on X.
Oh,
Thanks for finding the show.
He has a great many followers.
Good to see you here. Hope you like what you see.
See, a Snyder Man doesn't get it done. He's mass casualty, man.
Fan-made one's better than the actual promo. Slowly putting on his costume on while the city is being destroyed. Yeah, it's Monday morning. He doesn't want to do it, but he has to.
Snyder Man was so confusing. He also he saw that his heat vision was a great weapon, so of course he stops using it. It's like I'd be like fucking Homelander after I figured that out.
Yeah. But had to save some money somewhere. I guess it's surprisingly expensive effect, and you can use this a grand total of 90 seconds. So no more.
I think somebody got to him and said to him, "You got to calm down. We just saw what you did with the blast of heat vision." He's like, "Yeah," and they're like, "You can't have him repeatedly use it." I'm like, why not? There's no way they would withstand it. This was devastating, and also you took out a couple of city blocks when you did it. Calm down with the heat vision, because if he uses it, the fight will just be over. And he's like, "Oh, I hadn't thought of that."
Yeah, that makes sense for the story. And I'm sure the budget had something to do with it. Because actually, I'm sure the only thing they really cared about was him overspending. Accuracy, storytelling. Warner Brothers never cared about anything like that. It's not for the last 20 years.
His initial idea sucks, but when his idea was that he would thank you critically, Ed, or Doc as they call him, it was a fundamentally flawed Superman. It was a fundamentally flawed Superman. It really was just, and it was wrong.
Yeah. The writing, especially the costume design.
When they
Who takes the red underwear off of freaking Superman?
They put that back, but you know what? I'll just say this: when he said to them, when they saw that movie and they're like, or whatever he had of that movie up to that point, and they saw that effect with the heat vision, and they tried to explain to him how it was destroying his story stakes. He's like, oh wow, can't really admit that I didn't use the heat vision wrong. They would have been okay with almost anything, except Zack Snyder's plan was, I'll heat vision my way out of it with tons and tons and tons of effects. His solution was probably another $60 million worth of effects to do something else.
Yeah. I guess no one
Zack Snyder's
really tell a story.
We just saw this man show spaceships powered by coal. Okay, come on. Just stop, right? I mean, stop. Good evening, Cody Guy.
Hey, Cody Guy. Welcome. Okay, LDG. You can be up here for the last 5 minutes of the show, I guess. But I give most of my Batman, Superman credit. They're nowhere as bad as The Flash was. The Flash, why did they even bother getting clips of the old stuff if they knew the rest of the movie was shit?
I think that happened because no one was in charge for most of that movie's life. And by the time anyone was in charge, it was like, we got this movie that's pretty bad. And they're like, well, at least the star's well behaved. What have we got? And they watched the movie and it was okay. And then Ezra Miller starts doing one crazy thing after another. and he's like, "Holy shit, we've got like this guy is a disaster." And while he's been showing us this, because that happens I know he had been up to stuff for a couple of years, but like that comes out at the same time that he like disappears with this Native American chick, and that whole crazy story, and he's like sort of on the lam taunting the media, and every once in a while he'll like punch a lady in the face or something. He was really, really a dick. And by the time they realize what happens, so like we had to shelve this movie for like a year, and then like they have like a minimal amount of success, kind of like trying to get this guy to act normal, and then like one thing leads to the next, and they're just like, have got so much money tied up into this movie that we've got to simply let it it has to be released. And they're like, keep a bodyguard on him and have the bodyguard ready to subdue him. Like the bodyguard was now to protect other people from him, but they got through it, and they're like, maybe we can launch something off of this, maybe a Batman, and then whatever they did to Batman was just completely dumb. No one wants George Clooney back in that role after that movie.
It's in the YouTube group, LDG.
Was he part of that?
Yeah,
so I kind of got to go.
Okay.
Well, it was good seeing you, bro.
We're closing up anyway, LDG. You want to shout out what you're doing, Teague?
My name's Admiral Teague. Channel that's the name of the channel, or at Saving Star Trek here on YouTube. I'll be on in a little while with this week's Star Trek Discovery Share Your Pain watch party, where we'll try to share our pain together. And wow. Well, it's not Star Trek, so that's the good part. Hey, it's LDG, so now I leave you in his able hands. Check out my channel. We also do westerns, military movies, other stuff like that, and we watch real Star Trek and real sci-fi, and I review all media.
Thanks for stopping by, Teague.
Nice.
Good to see you guys later.
I'll get it from here, Teague. You can pussy out. Take care, buddy. There we go. What's going on, man?
How you doing, LDG?
I'm holding in there. I had to pop in real quick before you close up. I ain't gonna hold you back any there, man, but I did want to at least swing by and say hey. I got stuck. You want to hear real quick a story?
Yeah, sure.
I went to eat and my card freaking declined. I'm sitting there.
Shit.
All you can eat sushi. I mean, I just ordered a crap load of food. I go to pay for it, and the guy comes back and says, "I'm sorry, sir, it's declined." I'm like, no. Try that again, please. Goes back, and I'm like, oh my God. Comes back. Sorry, sir, declined. I'm like, there's no freaking way my card is declined. I wouldn't come here if I didn't have money on me. Ended up calling the bank. Very embarrassing. No, nothing like calling the bank. Okay, one moment. I won't run away for your food. I won't dine and dash. It's on the phone, like 20 minutes. I swear to God, I would have been out of there so much sooner. I was like literally on hold for like 15 minutes, and then talking with the bank guy for like 7-8 minutes. And I found out some random $4.99 charge locked my card up. Completely locked it up. $4.99 locked up my card. So I had to go through the 12-step verification, all that crap. He's like, okay, now you can use your card. I'm like, fraud is supposed to stop them from using my card. It's not supposed to stop me from using my card, right?
Yeah.
What's the point of fraud if I can't use my card? Like, I don't want you to do that. I'd rather chance somebody taking my card than you stopping me from using my card. Oh,
exactly.
Lord.
Well, glad you made it.
Then I had to go shopping real quick for some aluminum foil, or out of aluminum foil. And it's funny, when I went to the place, they were like, "Oh, what are you making, a pipe?" I'm like, yeah, I'm making a pipe out of 200 feet of aluminum foil. Dumbass. Oh, what's the world come to, man? I'm telling you, it's hilarious. Like what it used to be.
Yeah.
Why does everything look different here? Recording? Why do we have a recording tab?
Oh,
on the right hand side here.
I got the upgrade.
I don't have that. Oh, maybe because you're live streaming and the underground is a private recording room. Oh, all right, whatever. That looks new.
Yeah, that
So
usually
anyway,
happens. It's a default on the when you upgrade. I didn't really look into it.
Oh, yeah. What'd you upgrade to? The one up or the second one up?
Just one. The unlimited streaming, 10 people.
Gotcha. All right. Well, I was listening while I was eating, so good show. Thanks for having me on. Appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah.
Not
Glad
doing
you could
anything
be
later.
here.
Hit me up. Always.
Going over to
Later, folks.
Gorilla will have Cringe Doc.
You streaming?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Warriors.
Sweet. Warriors. All right. Sounds good.
Have a good night, everyone. Unfortunately, I have to start my shift here soon. Bye-bye. Well, we're going to be closing up here. Brad Wolf, you have a good night. Thanks to Cody Guy, Critically Thinking, Drinking. Let's see who else was here. Brad Wolf. We have, and Sci-Fi Fifth Dan. He does a lot of crossover AI content right now, and he streams with a whole bunch of different people. So check him out. And Mr. Lindell, Groovy Movies. I believe it's 3 times a week to do a groovy movie. He does a watch party through Cosme. He also posts a bunch of the older copyright-free stuff to his channel. He has a lot of the old superhero serials from like the 40s. Batman and the Green Hornet are some of the better ones he has on there. So check those out. Jim's Landscaping does a lot of Star Trek fan films. Also does puppy and kitten shorts. So those are interesting. And thanks, Courtney. I'm not sure if Courtney does content, but check her out if she does. Edge of Time. And and Sci-Fi Mombi. Mombi does a whole bunch of different streams, shorts with her cat. She does an Alf watch party, I believe, on Saturdays afternoons. So if you're a fan of Alf, go check that out. And I do believe Suzanne Eckstein, she doesn't have a channel, but very good person. Thanks for being here. And yeah, that's everybody. So thanks for stopping by, everybody. In about 5 minutes, Gorilla's Random Thoughts will be doing a watch party for the Warriors when we're celebrating PvP's birthday.
Oh, PvP's birthday.
Oh, yeah, I believe it's tonight or tomorrow.
Yeah. All right.
So yeah, Gorilla let him pick what movie we're gonna watch. So head on over there, wish PvP a happy birthday, and give Gorilla a little raid. We'll be back Saturday morning with Saturday morning cartoons. If you want to help choose what cartoon we watch, we have a poll up in the community tab right now. So
what's in the poll? What's in the poll?
Invader Zim. Beast Wars. Yeah.
Beast Wars.
Zim, unfortunately, Beast Wars been on there 2 weeks. Gotten, last time I checked, 0 votes.
Ah, good riddance. I'm sorry. I hate Beast Wars, but that's of me. In my opinion. Oh, God. So cringe. That's cringe. You should have like cringe stock for cartoons. Put Beast Wars on there.
Yeah.
Like to get vertigo watching something transform? Go ahead.
Yeah. Right now, We have Zem, Beast Wars, and Wildcats. Right now, Wildcats is
Wildcats.
winning the poll 60% of the
Nice.
vote.
Oh, nice. As it should be. Good stuff.
Take care, everyone. We'll see you next time.
Later.